Welcome to the very first episode of Why and How with Valentine, the business edition. I'm your host, Valentine and Nachipem, a curious soul, a storyteller, and a builder. And today we are starting this journey with someone whose work has lived at the intersection of culture, technology, and impact. He's someone who is helping the world discover the joy and depth of authentic food through tech. A co-founder of Local Booker, a platform that connects you to real food and experiences. But even before that, he was part of the founding team at Yellow Card, pioneering crypto space across Africa. He helped lead some truly developed initiatives there, including turning blockchain education into something that feels more like a festival than a lecture. He's also worked with the business incubation platform at IITA, and now he's currently pursuing an MBA at Nnamdi Azikiwe University to further strengthen his leadership in business strategy, innovation, and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to kick off this podcast with brother and a fellow builder, Oparinde Babatunde. Bro, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for that enigmatic introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. So before I dive into the world of fintech, crypto, and local booker, I'd like to hear a little bit about your journey, how you started, because that's the first and first.
Awesome. My name is Oparinde Babatunde, and I was born into a Christian home, born in Lagos. My father served with the Nigerian Navy. At the time, he was always traveling. My mom is not Nigerian, so I think that's why I got the cross-cultural personality. My mom is originally from Togo, but she grew up in Ghana. So a lot of that, influence sort of affected my worldview. I schooled at Nigerian Navy Primary School, then further to Command Secondary School. After that, I went to University of Ibadan, where I got a degree in wildlife and ecotourism. Mm-hmm. Initially, I wanted to study medicine, but now that I'm into business, I'm glad I did not. I mean, I care about people, but from an economic, I think more from an economic perspective, because I think that's like the most important, aspect of care and impact, for humanity. Once people are rich, a lot of their problems are gone.
Sure.
After, I finished at UI, a great school, by the way, I started working at IITA as a forester because I studied, wildlife and ecotourism. While I was there, I had the opportunity of joining a program called the IITA Youth Agripreneurship Program, started by the then director of IITA, in person of Mr. Senginga, Dr. Senginga, as a lot of people will call him. The concept of the program was to take youth across the value chain of agriculture, right, and allowing them to pick a path, and training them about business, and eventually creating an investment path or a growth path for them.
Yeah,
I was part of that program for about 2.5 years. During the course of that program, I had the opportunity of working closely with Rochas because I had a program with
the once governor
of Imo State.
Sorry.
We had a partnership then. I was part of the delegates that championed that project.
Okay.
So, a very successful one. But after that, I left that job and delved into the world of cryptocurrency through, a friend called Munachi at the time. Got into crypto. Then it was very, very young and early. It was just, a lot of people were confused what cryptocurrency was, and it was popular among, scammers and the dark web.
That's too, of course.
Yeah. So, and I think the only thing that was mainstream about crypto then was MMM. And I can tell you for free that a lot of people that were in crypto too at the time with me, as far back as 2016, 2017, were people that were trying to double their returns on MMM. For a lot of us, we didn't really care about the technology. We just cared about the ability for it to give us exponential returns on investment. Of course, I had a business background and, good education. I started digging a little bit deeper. What's this technology about?
Okay.
So that led me and my friend Munachi to start up a company called Criset. What Criset was going to do was blockchain mediation. We also did blockchain consultancy, blockchain research in Africa, and also we built our own products. One of our products we built was called IntruPay. Then the concept of IntruPay was to allow anybody anywhere send money to Nigeria using cryptocurrency. Okay. So how the platform works is you open an account and get a wallet address, a Bitcoin wallet address, because Bitcoin was the most popular crypto.
Yes, of course.
You send Bitcoin, it is converted immediately into Naira, and you can send that Naira into any bank account of your choice. While we're building that, Munachi got in contact with Chris and Justin, who are now the original co-founders of Yellow Card. They were also trying to do something similar, but what they were doing was they were building a platform that allows anybody in America buy crypto using a gift card. So how it works is you go on the platform, you buy a voucher, then go on the platform, load up that voucher, right? The dollar value of that voucher, then use that voucher to purchase crypto and send it wherever. You see, they were sending, we were receiving and converting back to Naira.
Okay.
So Munachi was very vocal on LinkedIn about cryptocurrency because he had a better understanding at the time, and I was also just learning. But along the line, I caught up with the whole tech. Yeah, we invited the Yellow Card guys. They came to Nigeria, saw the market potential, and we joined forces. And Yellow Card was birthed in Nigeria, and we got lucky, got into the Binance incubation program. I raised about $120,000.
For real?
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was in 2019.
Okay.
And the story has been exciting ever since. It's just been one great milestone to the other.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
As a visionary investor and a leader, what major gaps have you actually found out in the tech industry across Africa?
One big gap I noticed about the tech ecosystem in Nigeria is the copy and paste mentality. A lot of us Africans, a friend of mine would say we are, deep down, we're Americans or, Europeans want to be.
Want to be true.
Yeah,
I get that.
From the fashion to the way we speak, from the way we dress, what we think is right, it's what the Europeans have modeled. Now, that is not completely wrong, but it lacks some originality.
Of course.
And I feel like that is what we need to start putting into the technology we develop. I'll give you an instance. Currently, there are just too many fintech in Nigeria.
Of course.
Doing the same thing.
Copy and paste.
And in my own opinion, there are already winners in the fintech space. There are winners already, and they are like the big four. And that is OPay, Money Points, Flutterwave, and Paystack. There's nothing you're trying to do that you've not done 100 times better.
So which is the best fintech product you've actually, amongst this four you actually called? Who would you say is the best?
Home-based.
Yeah.
I'll give thumbs up to Money Points. I'll give thumbs up to Money Points because, first off, they've been building ethically. And that's very important for me. It's not just being out there, it's not just making noise that you're worth $1 billion.
Yeah, of course.
Are you doing things
of course.
correctly? Doing things right? Have there been scandals about your business? Because in Nigeria, we glorify success.
Of course, sure.
Over process, which is a terrible mentality and is destroying our society.
Of course.
Money Points are, they first of all, they grew silently. If you look at the track record of the CEO, Tosin.
Yes.
He's a honorable man.
I read about him, sure.
He's a honorable man, and I respect him a lot. And he's a right model for young people to copy. Go to the remotest village or the most remote village in Nigeria.
Money Point is fine.
Money Points there.
I get it.
Left, right, center, Money Points there. And they solve a real problem. They understand our pain point. They understand pains, and they really solve for it. So I don't see what any other payment platform that is doing something similar. I mean, homegrown.
Homegrown.
It's a no-brainer.
Sure. Okay, as somebody who actually leverages tech to build, have you ever built a product that failed?
Yeah, I have built a product that failed, and I wouldn't say it failed completely, but at the time we're building IntroPay, which I, earlier highlighted what the value proposition was. We did not gain as much traction because we came too early. We had a unique product, but the market was not ready. I remember my father telling me, I was trying to explain cryptocurrencies to my father. Like, hey, there's a currency, and he tells me, is it approved by the government? Does the government get this currency? I'm like, no. Like, dude, you're wasting your time. You don't understand the idea that there's a currency that's not regulated by anybody anywhere, even if it's not even Nigeria, maybe the US or Europe or IMF or World Bank. There's no authority that's giving this currency go ahead. And you say you have, no. He told me categorically that, son, you're wasting your time.
Sure.
Go and get a real job.
Do you think he advised you right? Do you think it was a right advice? I mean, looking at IntroPay.
In retrospect, my father was just talking from the knowledge he had, right? He cares about me and he's just trying to
limited knowledge he had.
Right? He does not have, up-to-date information about what technology I was talking about. And it wasn't just him. For a lot of people then too, this technology was alien to them.
Okay.
I can also say for free that a lot of people got into crypto because of the hype, like
Of course, the hype.
the price hype. Oh,
I get it. I get it.
$1,000 now. It is $100,000. I'm like, whoa.
The knowledge is not there.
Nobody really cares about what the knowledge does.
So you said when Intrepid came into Nigeria,
Yeah.
the Nigerian market wasn't ready. That was when? 2019?
No. Intrepid started as around 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think the market is ready? Do you think Nigerians are ready for Intrepid currently? I mean, any plans of reintroducing it to the market?
I think the market evolves already, but yes, the market is ripe now. Everybody knows about cryptocurrency now. There are platforms like Cash App, people sing about it. It's in mainstream media. Everybody talks about cryptocurrency now, and the word Bitcoin is no longer, a strange terminology. Everybody understands Bitcoin.
Okay. I think you've actually answered this question before. I'll have to repeat the question.
Please
so,
go ahead.
in the African tech market, what is that thing that is actually overhyped in the African tech market? Do you think it's under the fintech, industry?
Yeah, I'm
under the crypto industry?
Yeah. One thing that I see young people overtly hyped about is the idea that they could make legitimate living off being a content creator. First off, we need to understand that content creation and the way, like social media influencing content creation, the way a lot of them project it, is a game of economics. And when the demand is higher than the supply, the price drop. Those people that tell you they've made so much money creating content on YouTube and all that, the highest winners are the platforms.
Certainly.
They get money from ads, ad revenue. They need you to create content to drive engagements on the platform so that they can push ads. They're not going to give all of you that money. It's a delusion. The platform doesn't lose.
It can never.
It will never lose. You will lose. Young people thinking and feeling that, I can just become a content creator and I'll be a billionaire. I think it's an illusion. It's an illusion that needs to be really talked about. Africa has real problems. Even with our traditional industries like agriculture, real estate, mining, we need to build real solutions. Even healthcare, education, we need to build real solutions that solve real issues. Now, I'm not saying people should not be content creators, but the inflow of young people, it is alarming, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the future.
Yeah, I get it. I understand
right?
it. Yeah.
So, at most, we should build our own platforms, right? Where we're also the ones deciding how the splits will be. I feel like that is one hype that we should be careful about, and the futuristic damage will be colossal.
Okay. Let's go back to crypto a little bit. You described yourself as a blockchain advocate. What does that mean in the African context?
When the African people hear about blockchain, the first thing that comes to their mind is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, make money.
Of course. That's the reason why I said the African context. In the African, I have to bring it home.
So, blockchain is a technology that brings trust, right? Where trust is missing. And that's how we should look at the blockchain technology. And if you look at the African ecosystem, all our industries, they are too fragmented with multiple middlemen.
Of course.
Taking a higher chunk sometimes of that, that market. So what blockchain does is to eliminate middleman and build trust. It builds a trustless system where two people can interact without fear, of being cheated. And that's what blockchain is. And, it can be applied in healthcare, it can be applied in real estate, can also be applied, yes, in finance, right? And a host of others. I'll give you an example. I have a friend that's building a platform called Sitemap. It's a blockchain real estate marketplace where anybody, anywhere, any part of the world can come, look at a land using satellite imaging, get allocated a plot, then pay for it, and get ownership seamlessly. Buy land anywhere in Nigeria using this platform.
Sure.
Right? In healthcare, your data, your health history, and your data, even your allergies can be recorded, and that data can be transferred from one place to another. So as you travel, there's not going to be any mistake that, a doctor did not know what your allergies is. We can use that. So even in agriculture, you want to know the source of a produce, like where is it coming from? You want to track, even in logistics, right? So blockchain transcends beyond making crypto gains, buying high, selling lows, and all that hype.
Get it.
It solves real life issues, even in governance. You want assurance that, oh, your vote really matters and your vote counts. And because the blockchain system is immutable, you cannot, most of it, you cannot alter.
Manipulate it, I guess.
I look forward to a future where we're able to use blockchain beyond gains, crypto gains, and pump and dumps.
As a blockchain advocate, what have you come to learn about the understanding of Nigerians of crypto? For someone who has been in the industry and who is an advocate for blockchain.
Yeah, been in the industry for quite some time now. There's one thing I just feel Nigerians think about crypto.
Okay.
Again, gains. How much are they going to make? If I put 100,000 now, when am I going to make 100 million? And that is very misleading, right? Blockchain and cryptocurrency is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? It is not and that's why they fall for scams and Ponzi schemes that are built around cryptocurrency. Thank God for sensitization and government involvement with regulatory policies. But the Nigerians themselves need to be properly educated on what cryptocurrency is and what the blockchain technology is.
You actually mentioned something about the government regulations and all that. So do you think the government regulations around crypto has actually helped or hindered the progress of it in Nigeria?
Currently, it's two sides of a coin. First off, I am pro-regulation. Right? You need regulations because of the bad actors. They were at some point there were too many bad actors. People were exploiting Nigerians.
They're still here.
And because there's no single source of truth, which is usually backed by the government in most cases. Anybody can just come and do whatever they like with us and go away and that's it. The original idea of crypto, Bitcoin, is that I can send value to you without the interference of a third party. But if I send that value to you, let's say I want to buy a car and I'm in Lagos, you're in Abuja. You say, okay, pay before service now. I'll pay you before I get the goods. I pay you the crypto. Now I'm expecting the car and you refuse to bring the car. There was no court I could take you to at the time and say, hey, I sent you because crypto was not regulated. In fact, I would be so afraid to even take you to court because I was dealing in the currency that was not approved. But with the regulation in place, people can now face the legal system if they decide to defraud the person. You understand? They can now be taken to court and be sentenced for cheating. So I feel like that brings some level of credibility. Also, the ecosystem can be regulated. People must meet certain criteria as provided by Tech and the CBN for them to play in the space. So we don't have people, coming to take people's money, lie, and all that. But the other side of the coin, and I mean, it's with most government policies that it slows innovation. Government bureaucracies are also like general bottleneck, but that is not uncommon. And I think as we continue to evolve and understand the technology better, some of these bottlenecks would be worked on.
So what advice do you have for the government if you were to talk to them about the regulations and all that? Do you think you have something to tell them in order to impute?
Yes, I feel like currently the current policies work, but I think they should be reviewed from time to time.
Okay.
There should also be stakeholders meeting and town hall meetings among players in the ecosystem for them to get constant feedback about the performance of certain policies. Right, you need that loop, that feedback loop, and I think it's lacking. So no policy is perfect, and nobody can give a perfect policy at the get-go. But with constant review and engagement with decision makers and entrepreneurs and even everyday users, right?
Sure.
As long as you have that loop, so you get feedback, I feel like would have a perfect system.
You sound so experienced in the field, and I would love to ask you this: do you believe you've actually left impact, legacy in the crypto industry in Nigeria? You think so?
Yes, I think I have done that. I think I'm the first person that started this crypto edutainment approach as a way of educating people about crypto and financial literacy. I realized that most times when we talk about crypto, a lot of the festival, a lot of the party happens in Lagos.
Sure.
Right? But Lagos is a subset of Nigeria. Nigeria is bigger than Lagos. And for a lot of investors, even researchers and analysts, when they talk about data, crypto data, most of them are focused in Lagos. Even when they fly in, everybody just goes to Lagos and feel whatever experience they have in Lagos, in what Nigeria is. At most, they go to Abuja.
Sure.
But Nigeria is more beautiful than that, right? And there's value everywhere in Nigeria.
Value.
So, but what's the fastest way and most intelligent way and easiest way to bring education to African youths? It's three things from the already established pattern of behavior. It is comedy, it is music and dance, then it is football. These are things that interest young people in Africa. And if you bring in a technology that is new and is alien to them, you have to meet them at their touch point where they already are. So what I did was to create a strategy where we combine entertainment and crypto education and financial literacy and take this to the rural areas of Nigeria, the peri-urban areas of Nigeria, right? And I've been able to run these events in states in southeastern Nigeria, right, where the impact was felt. Young people were able to take care of themselves through school, through the knowledge of cryptocurrency. Some have even gone on to acquire skills that are relevant in the crypto space and have gone on to get crypto jobs and can now take care of themselves through school, which is a beautiful thing for me. Impacts cannot always be big. Sometimes it is small, it is one soul at a time. And that is where I come from. So I feel like, yes, I should touch one soul at a time.
Okay, that's good. I'll be very bold to ask this. Who's that very business executive in the crypto industry that you respect so much? In Nigeria here. In Nigeria.
Is the founder of Quora, Dixon Nsofo.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope I got that name correctly. Yeah, Dixon. Dixon is a he's an intelligent guy. He's a bright guy. Also an OG in the crypto space. And, he has shown that consistency and resilience over time. And, if you go look his track record, you know what I'm talking about. And he's also a very quiet guy.
It's actually safe to say that this very name you mentioned right now, I've heard it, but then it doesn't still fall under the popular faces, right?
No.
So it's safe to say that the people who hear their names mostly don't do much under the...
Oh, no. So what you have is, again, it still goes but it still goes back to the culture in Nigeria. We are very loud people, and we think the loudest person in the room is the smartest person in the room.
Sure.
But it's not always true.
Of course.
Right? If you read about Quora, their results speaks volume and speaks for them. Google about Quora.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There is this very topic I really want us to talk about, the crypto influencers, the so-called business executives in the crypto world, making statements from a place of confidence that they know much about crypto. But then I feel very confident that they are using a lot of Nigerians. What do you think about that?
It's one of the pandemic killing the crypto space in Nigeria. Crypto influencers are a menace to the growth of cryptocurrency in Nigeria. And I feel the government should do something about them, regulating who talks about crypto, who is licensed to talk about crypto, who has the prerequisite and what it takes to be able to be a crypto influencer. I feel like the government should really, 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 really look into that, either as a trader or promoter of a token or an exchange, whatever you have, it's even an NFT. They should be licensed to be able to talk about it. But that said, young people are so gullible. They're so gullible, they're greedy, they want to make it quick. That greed drives them to fall for crypto influencer scams. There's a group of people, they call themselves the Moon Boys. We've heard about them like in the space. There's a syndicate of crypto influencers that have some amount of following. What they do is they do a scam called pump and dump scam. It's just one of many scams, right? I can't list all the different crypto scams that exist. And what they do, they use like $5 to create this, maybe Solana token, and they start talking about it like it's the next big thing. They cause that viral effect on Twitter, then people start buying. But when you buy, they dump the token on you, right? And I've seen this happen over and over and over and over again. Young people need to be very, very careful. Young people need to learn that there's no crypto in this world would promise you consistent gain to infinity. Oh, if you put your money, you'll just be making money tomorrow. It is mindless. And when Nigerians think of investment, it's just crazy. They believe, oh, investment is I give somebody my money. It's giving me 100,000 every month, give me 1 million. Just be giving 100,000 every month. You must be stupid. You must be dumb. I mean, it doesn't mean that doesn't happen.
I get it.
But some of these returns on investment they are too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. It is not true. Do not do it. Seek education first. Make sure you double check, you validate. Do not fall for easy bait. I understand there's desperation in society, and people are desperate. People are desperate for quick wins. People also are moved by their own greed. They want to come out and show that they are doing okay, they are doing well. And again, generally, as a people, we fall for materialism. Once we see a person posting Lamborghini, posting cars, doing all the throwing, nonsense parties, throwing money, showcasing a flamboyant lifestyle without any track record.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no sensible businessman I know that is overtly flamboyant.
Sure.
Especially a young person building business, because you're 24 hours is not enough. You are solving problems every day to have enough time to be overtly flamboyant. Right? There's marketing, there's sales, there's speech that happens on social media, and there's outright manipulation. Young people need to be wary and careful and not fall for cheap scams like this. They also need to check their own greed and their own gullibility, because they also have a responsibility, and not every time blaming the scammers. Yes, the scammers will be blamed, but you have a responsibility to not be scammed.
Of course.
I feel like the government can also lock, if they scam, they should lock you too. And that's just a joke on the flip side.
Later.
But I mean, we really need to be very, very careful. I know CBEX just happened, but trust me, Nigerians are willing to be scammed. Nigerians are so greedy. If another platform comes and promises them XYZ return, they will jump into it. They just want to be the first, so that the other platform, I mean, there have been multiple platforms, right, that have gone away with all people's money and have nothing to say. I mean, there's Omega Pro, there's different types, multiple, just in numbers. We need to be very careful. Even exchanges, right? People that are completely clueless, do not know anything about international money policies, do not know about, anti-money laundering laws. They are telling you they are building exchanges without proper knowledge, without setting compliance tools to protect you and your funds, and you trust them. You got to be very careful. You just got to be very careful. So I feel like the government has a lot of responsibility. Proper education, not through bogus words. You need to educate the youth, educate the masses in terminologies and context they can understand. Make it simple. Say it in their languages. Take it home. Let it drive home. Talk about these things in churches. Right? I think it's very, very important.
Okay, let's go a little bit into fintech, which you're very much familiar with again. So, do you think fintech in Nigeria is more promising compared to other countries in Africa?
Nigeria is the biggest market in Africa.
Certainly.
When it comes to volume, liquidity, even numbers of users. Even though they're retail users and like small users. I don't think there's any data that supports any country doing better than Nigeria in terms of crypto adoption and crypto usage. But then when you talk about liquidity and access to capital, countries like South Africa and Kenya might, at some points might top Nigeria, but when it comes to day-to-day usage, Nigeria is by far the biggest.
The biggest when it comes to
crypto adoption, crypto usage, crypto interest.
What about tech? Do you think Nigeria is actually far better when it comes to tech, adoption, leveraging tech to build platforms?
Yes, Nigeria yes. Nigeria is way ahead. Way ahead. Yeah, I think we have the most unicorn companies in Africa that has started over the past 10 years. I think we also have more interest, more products out of Nigeria that have seen daylight, that have gotten out there and made global. We love technology. We love mobile phones. Nigeria has one of the highest mobile penetration in Africa.
Right.
1 in 5 person has a very decent mobile phone.
You are very right. But then when you look at the adoption of tech, I think Nigerians love tech-oriented products, but are less curious about, the process. They don't really want to know how it comes about. They just love enjoying it. I mean, I experienced it firsthand last year. The widespread ignorance about tech. So what do you have to say about that? Because the encouragement is lacking. It's totally lacking for every young Nigerian that is into tech. You need that encouragement that you're building something. But then you realize that once you are done building, they love it. But the encouragement will come. It's part of, I believe, it's part of the things that kills, the adoption of technology in Nigeria. So what do you think should be done?
Yeah, I think generally we have a consumer mindset. People just want to use things and it transcends beyond tech, beauty products and everything. Over time, we've glorified the use of Western things, Western products. For us, it's more about classism. It makes we feel we are bigger, we are better, we are more important, we are more superior. When we are associated with Western brands, Western things, we do not even trust ourselves.
Sure.
This is not completely foolish because yes, they are bad actors. There are some of us Nigerians are not to be trusted. But the reality is that mentality has built up over time and it has transcended into tech. Yes, we are users. We love to use products. We love to. In fact, if a Chinese man or an American person wants to drive traction on their product, they come to Nigeria and give it away, and everybody will be running there.
Very true. Very true.
But the reality is, we're also not very bold people. But some of us are trying. We're moving the bars. We are.
Oh, certainly, sure.
We are visionaries, right? And I could name a few names, and some of them are my friends. But when you look at us as in a larger population size, there are fewer people that are trying to challenge status quo and be creators and do the hard stuff. I also feel like we hate to do the hard stuff. Yes, we like to hustle, but when it comes to building innovative technology that lasts and stand the test of time and shape the world, the research and the patience and mental requirement that goes into that, for most of us, we back down. We want it quick and fast. And lastly, funding is an issue. All over the world, there's a higher percentage of startups that fail as compared to those that become successful. But funding keeps coming. In Nigeria, people lose faith easily, right? Because, we are blessed in natural resources, but in terms of financial resource, like actual liquidity, it is missing. And it still goes back to a leader not being visionary and not understanding the potential of some of these industries, right? So I feel like it's a combination of these different issues that sort of affect that sort of create that mindset or affect the Nigerian youths.
Okay. As a visionary leader, what is that very one product under the fintech industry you need to advise Nigerians to stop building? I mean, we don't need it, or we've been building it and it hasn't really been solving that very problem. It's saturated.
More recently, it's fintech and this madness, cross-border payments, card issuing. God, come on, stop already. I feel like the banks are doing a great job with, card payments, cross-border payments, to be honest. I'm not talking about now using blockchain technology. I'm just using traditional payments.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Right? I think the issue, especially when it comes to micro payments, $300, $200, $50, and there are companies that say that they're doing that for you. It's crazy. I think there was a policy that came in and sort of before I could use my Naira card anywhere in the world, when I travel, I could up to the tune of $500 if I'm not mistaken. But at some points, because of low demand for the Naira and, just trying to, I'll say, patch our foreign reserve, the government started coming up with policies that reduced that to about $50. And of course, more recently, you say economy is taking a different turn, right?
Oh, sure.
We need to look as if things are getting better. And some of these policies will be reversed. So I feel like some of those businesses will die a natural death once the government is able to look into this policy and reverse some of these things. I think they'll die a natural death. I don't see any real value in making, saying you're providing a platform that allows you to make $50, $100 payments. Of course, for B2B, it makes sense, right? When you're saying, you're helping businesses move across border and you're doing it quick and fast, that makes sense. But when you say you're providing, you're issuing card, you're helping people send $50, $100. Come on, I feel like it's overhyped.
What's the problem? I mean, it's affecting me.
That's what I'm saying. It's a policy problem. It's not a real problem.
Oh,
It can be changed with the policy. It's a policy problem. You don't get, it's a
I
policy
get
problem.
it. Okay. So,
And it can be fixed with the right policy from CBN.
from the government.
Yeah, it is not a real problem. To me, it's not a real problem.
Why do you think the government haven't really done something about the right policy?
Well,
Because you can do the transactions, but then you know that before you get to do that transaction, you have to, go through. That's not seamless.
Yeah,
right?
it's not currently seamless right now. But I can give you this advice for free. If you get a dollar card, you could do $20,000 monthly. I mean, you could use plat banks like FCA. If you get a dollar card from FCMB, if you meet up the requirements, you can do $20,000 as of today. It's not a big problem. I think there's also no proper education
About that.
So a dollar card will provide you that, right? It's just like your Naira card might not. Again, the Naira has lost its value. There is high demand for dollars as compared to that of Naira. They had to step in and to manage the flow. But in the process of doing that, they created a new problem, right? So I feel like, as long as our economy is getting better and, some of these things are changing, the economic outlook is changing, these policies will be reversed. And when you reverse those, it will not be an issue anymore.
So tell us, what's your biggest win in fintech and your biggest failure? For people to learn, let's start with your win.
Okay, let me start with my biggest win so far is believing in myself when nobody did. Believing in the technology, blockchain technology. Believing in crypto. Also collaborating with those Americans that, that started Yellow Card. I felt like those decisions were very, very key and important for me and has brought me to where I am today. Even though along the line there were little mistakes and certain things did not go 100% right, as I would have, want them to be in retrospect. But I feel like that's one of the biggest decision I made for myself.
Your biggest failure?
My biggest failure is the pressure that comes on you as an innovator or as a builder or someone that is trying to create a new path for yourself. People expect you to show up and show up correct, confidently all the time. The reality is not so. Sometimes I'm frustrated. Sometimes I'm asking myself,
I get it.
Why am I doing this? Right? And I feel like, oh my God, what am I doing here? And what I noticed is that it is not just with me, it's with every other person, even Elon, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, all these different big names that you mentioned, right? Jack Ma, they also feel those ways sometimes. And it's human, right? Your ability to defeat those feelings and continue to push and strive, that is what makes you a successful entrepreneur.
Okay. And something that I found very interesting, transitioning from blockchain to local booker. Yeah, so I want to understand the passion between blockchain, local booker, because local booker is all about discovering.
So currently, African culture is gaining global recognition because of Afrobeat.
That's true.
So Afrobeat all of a sudden became a global sensation. There was a global appetite for Afrobeat, and most Afrobeat artists, through their music, tell African stories, right? The original ones. And because of these stories, they are beginning to open up other aspects of the African culture, like our fashion and our food. You understand?
Okay.
Now, everybody knows jollof rice.
Of course.
Before, we're ashamed to talk about jollof rice, but we feel like, if you eat eba, you're poor. If you eat British, the American breakfast, you're rich. There were these misconceptions. We're dealing with a lot of low self-esteem as African people. We felt everything about that we are globally supposed to come second. But that is changing now. We feel like, yes, we too can be number one at something, right? So I looked at that, I was like, okay, why not build a product that further amplifies African culture, that further amplifies African heritage. Beyond jollof rice, there are other beautiful foods about Africa that needs to be discovered and explored by the rest of the world, right? It's a thing. If you go on a date, you tell people, hey, I want to go to a Chinese restaurant. Oh, I'm eating Chinese, I'm eating Italian. You need to eat African. People need to say, hey, I'm going on a date and I'm eating African. and eating Nigeria, not just Africa, because it's also a mistake they make, because they lump us into one batch, right? Kenyans have their food, they have their ngali, the Ghanaians have their kinki, Togolese have akume, and in Nigeria we have different cultures and with different dish and delicacies. So I feel like there is not enough. Yes, there are random, TikTok influencers,
It's not enough. I get it.
influencers that are trying to, but I feel like we need to democratize that. African food needs to go toe to toe with American dishes and foreign and other European or even Asian dishes, and that's what Local Buka is here to do.
Okay. So how does it function? How does Local Buka function to help solve that very problem?
At the basic level, Local Buka allows you to find African restaurants anywhere in the world by cuisine type, closeness to location, by your personal preference. It just allows you to put these things and it helps you find. But there's more which I might not want to talk about because we're still developing.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So it seems you're a builder at heart, and I would want to ask you, because I believe you have something behind the scene. What are you building next?
After Local Buka, what's in the pipeline is a platform, an app called Designer. Designer is an app that allows anybody anywhere in the world to gain access to African tailors. It uses AI and blockchain technology. I'll keep it at that. So we're also democratizing that tailor industry. 1 in 5 women I know is a tailor. Somebody I know is a tailor. Your neighbor is a tailor.
Sure.
There are tailors fragmented all over Nigeria, right? And it's because of our culture. We like to wear custom-made clothes. Abroad, I notice, there's just one designer. He works with Zara, creates a line for, that line, they must produce it in different sizes. People go into that store and buy. But in Africa, it's quite different. If we're going for a wedding, they give us a cloth. The way I would use my material, even if we're twins, I'll say, no, put a sleeve for me, put a collar here. We love to be involved because it's an expression of our rich heritage. We want our culture, our personality to reflect in our fashion.
That's right.
And we are very flamboyant in the way we dress. That makes it a little bit difficult to mass produce African clothes, right? So how do we democratize that? That is what Designer does. It's a robust platform, and it's going to be massive. Just be on the lookout for it.
You have so much faith in the African market, so much faith. So I want to know where your confidence comes from. Is this something?
Yeah, it's just a simple fact of, again, understanding African problems and building technological solution that solves African problems, rather than build the next Uber, build the next,
Exactly.
build the next, what do you call the Cash App? No. I'm not trying to build the next Facebook. I'm not trying to build the next. I'm building products that reeks Africa. Right, something that you, without being told, it is telling the African story. It is reflecting the African essence, and has a spirit of the African pride.
Thank you so much. Babatunde Oparinde, I really have to appreciate you for coming.
Thank you so much.
You've really been a wonderful guest on this show. And
It's a pleasure.
for the fact that this is the very first episode in the business edition, I really have to appreciate you. Much appreciated. And you're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Welcome. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you found value, insight, and maybe even a fresh perspective on the future of fintech, crypto, and the tech space at large. Huge thanks to my guest for sharing his journey and wisdom. If you enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And hey, the conversation doesn't end here. Follow us on our pages on Why and How with Valentine, and stay plugged in for more powerful discussions coming your way. Until next time, stay curious, stay innovative, and keep building the future. This is Valentine Nashabem, aka Valentine of all people, and you've been listening to Why and How Valentine. Catch you on next time.